Hey guys, what's happening tonight? Hope you had a great Wednesday. I had a pretty good day myself. Lots going on, and the markets definitely weren't a real surprise. Basically, when you look at it, and this is the U.S. dollar. So just to first off, just to get started, I'm not going to take forever here tonight. I'm just going to kind of run through some levels. I think there could be a setup or two for tomorrow I want to take a quick peek at, and then that's pretty much it. I'm going to wrap it up in about 20 minutes. Keep it short and sweet for this evening, because I have got a busy day in the morning, and I want to get rolling, get on the markets early. And I was going to do a New York session tomorrow, but there's a ton of news coming down, and to be honest with you, I don't know if I'm going to have time to sit in front of the news or not. So that's kind of why I'm doing a London session. But just to talk about the news real quick, let's just have a peek on that one. So this is kind of interesting. I had just I issued a trade on, when was it? Tuesday, my last live session. I issued a trade, Tuesday London Open. So check this out. This is interesting. I just kind of found this out. Got to get the full week up here. Hang on. Why the hell can't I get the full week? I want, here we go. To there. Okay. There we go. Okay. So I went ahead, I did a London Open session about this time. So we are about 1 a.m. New York time. So just at the start of London Open, just when things are getting kicked off. And you can see here there's a whole pile of news coming out for the pound sterling, right? Some guy, MPC member speaking, public sector, net borrowing, and inflation report hearings. Nothing too serious, but enough where it may start to throw a little bit of price movement around and kind of push price in the direction that we want it to go, hopefully making the false move. So I was biased to the downside on the day, and my hopes that price was going to sort of consolidate ahead of time, and then this news would push it higher to creating the false move higher, and then subsequently, after the last news release had been issued, price would then drop and getting into the short position. So my trade entered, and lo and behold, it ran about 50 pips in the wrong direction. Now, obviously, I had allowed for some movement in the opposite direction, which is why I set my entry above the current market price at the time when I was making the call. So anyway, it kind of pissed me off, I'll be honest with you. I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on, why they had ran price literally 50 pips in the opposite direction for them to just sink price anyway. There was really no logical reason for it. Anyway, long story short, I was talking with one of our members, and this right here doesn't show any other speeches. There was at about, I can't remember, I think it was about 4:30 or 4:15 a.m. New York time, the Bank of England, what the hell is his name, Carney, or whatever it is, was speaking. This guy, I think he's speaking again on Friday. Right there, this dude right here, Carney. He was speaking and was doing a major speech that they completely omitted from this news feed. So, lo and behold, had I known that was going to go down, I sure as hell wouldn't have issued a signal. So, I'm just cleaning this up real quick, just kind of to let you know kind of how the week has gone. So, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, I had put an entry in right here, and this is an hourly chart. So this is, right, this is a little bit, obviously, doesn't look big right here, but this is actually, so I put my trade right here at 45, because what I was thinking price was going to do, you see these equal highs here, 1, 2, 3. I wanted price just to pop up 10 to 20 pips and then reverse. That's what I was looking for, and look what it did. Price screamed up and went, so if these are the equal highs I was calling, price went over 50 pips in this direction because of that stupid news article that did not show up on Forex Factory. So pretty upset about that. Anyway, long story short, we got in and we got some movement on it for Wednesday's trading, so not a big deal, but you kind of got to definitely watch out and watch the news. So moral of the story is always take a look at the news, what's coming up before you put a trade in, to make sure you can skirt around market volatility and avoid the pitfalls of the mistake that I just made. And not only that, but verify your news sources. So I was, the gentleman who told me about the error of my ways actually had sent me over a news feed that he uses it, and there it was clear. Here, let me actually just bring that up so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Right here. Oh, you know what? Unfortunately, oh, yeah, here we go. This is what I wanted, not the news. This is what I wanted. Wednesday, recent, tomorrow, this week, next week. I just got to go back a day. Tuesday. Apply. Okay. Look. This was the guy that that showed up on this one, right? Right here. NPC member, what's his nut speaking there. And then this was the one that they completely omitted. High impact. I mean, what the hell is that all about? And then there's another speech and another speech. Literally, 1, 2, 3, 4 major speeches, all at the same time, that they completely omitted. So, anyway, like I say, moral of the story is check your news feeds and check them twice with a couple of different sources. It's also what I mentioned as well too about broker feeds. You never want to trust one broker alone to give you the most reliable, exact, price, market price, because there's always fluctuations and variations from broker to broker. So always confirm your sources. So anyway, that's my soapbox speech for the night. Let's get into this. We are Thursday. There's a little bit of pound news, some high impact again. This dude's speaking again. Carney's getting up on a soapbox. He's yapping. Here in about 3 hours, he's going to be starting. So, not looking for a whole bunch. And then there's retail sales as well, too. So, and then he's speaking again later on in the day, towards the end of New York close. So, the pound could see a little bit of volatility. Now, here's the thing. I'd like to take a trade on the pound because I think there is further downside to it, but I don't want to be taking it right in and around where all this is going on. And I'm actually just going to open up this guy right here and say, what do we got on the radar screen for Thursday? So let's just have a quick peek at that and confirm our news sources before we jump into anything. So there's some European news coming up. Looks like out of Germany. And there's the Carney's speech, Bank of England Governor Carney. He's talking there at, and this is obviously 8 a.m. So this is out of UK. So this is all London time, obviously, which is 5 GMT. And some U.S. news, and then we have a whole bunch more news in here for the pound sterling. So again, we should see the pound move quite a bit, and I definitely going to take a look at some of the levels that we're looking at that could be seen for that for tomorrow's trading. So I'll look at the pound, I'll look at the US dollar, I'll look at the euro. I want to take a look at crude oil real quick because I think there's a trade there, and then I'm going to pretty much wrap it up. So I'm going to start, so let's just start with the US dollar, of course, because we all want to start with that one. As you can see here, I had this level called out on my chart for a while, and that's just basically these equal highs here, 94.05. Price came in today, and it swept it by a little over 4 pips at 94.09. Call it 94.10, pretty much even. So I'm not sure what that was. I just got a loud beep on my system here, and I don't know. I've never heard it before in my life. Don't know what that is. Anyway, so yeah, price. I'm just gonna move this guy. Give me this. Can you guys hear that? What the hell is that noise? There we go. That's what I wanted to accomplish right there. So I just wanted to bring that line up, and you can see here this area here. I'm still looking for them to come up. I was just kind of trying to illustrate that was sort of the area that they could have ran price into, but price pretty much came up, swept it by 4 pips, and so far it's started to reject a little bit. I'm not looking for a huge rejection. I'll be honest with you. I think we're probably going to keep pushing. Someone was actually asking me today what I thought price was going to do going into NFPs next week. Seeing how it is May 1st, next Friday, they'll have NFP and a whole bunch of news coming out next week for the US dollar, so we should see some fluctuation. To be honest with you, so what I think is probably going to happen, they'll keep screaming this thing up, I think, for the rest of the week. So we may see a little bit of pullback, and I think in terms of pullback, you know, maybe get this line here, maybe to the top of these candles in here, somewhere in here, the body of this guy, the body of that guy, or maybe the wick in there. So we could see a pullback going into London Open and through London trading there. I think that's got to be this website. Hang on, let me just get rid of this. This thing's got to be this thing. I'm actually going to bookmark this. 1 second, guys. Because I actually like that feed there. Okay. So I think what we could see going into NFPs for next week, again, tomorrow I wouldn't mind seeing a run back down to here because they did come up. They took a little bit of liquidity above the market here. They grabbed some stops and so far didn't show any willingness to continue. They closed the day down. And then what I wouldn't mind them seeing is them come in and drop price from where its current location down to here and then expand higher from there. So I'd kind of like to see something like this occur. Somewhere in and around there. Now, what I think will happen and up, you know, through this week, they're not going to take out. I'm looking for a 95 big figure to get tagged. So that's where my ultimate target is. I don't think they're done. These interim highs right here, I think this was just the appetizer before the main course that's about to come down the pipeline here. I think they'll come in, they'll drop it down into Thursday, you know, and they may not do anything with it. They could just sit sideways for the rest of this week. But I think what they'll end up doing is they'll just kind of keep it sort of suppressed, and then maybe Monday, Tuesday of next week, they'll slam this thing up and take out these highs in here. They'll come up back over into this small consolidation area right here. I'm actually looking at about 95.20 would be the high that I'm looking for to see some rejection. So about 15 pips higher than the 95.04 that I have here. A sweep up, reject, and basically a turtle soup. And so I think, but you know, leading up to get there, I think what they'll probably end up doing is just something kind of like this. They'll just sort of bounce price in here, you know, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, you know, whatever it is. Maybe Wednesday they make the high, they pop it up, and then, you know, Thursday they just kind of crouch down, and then not, or even, you know, maybe they don't even do it Wednesday. Maybe they wait and for non-farm, and then next Friday they smash it up there, sweep the highs, and then sink it. So I mean, that's just kind of one scenario, but we're so close to this 95 big figure right here that I think they'll probably artificially suppress it and then probably give us the big climax to the finish of this bull move up here next Friday, or potentially next week anyway. I don't think we're going to see it this week. I definitely see continuation through. I think we're up here now, and I don't think they're going to start running this thing south. I think there's a lot of liquidity right here, and I don't think they're done with the market as of yet. So that is kind of what I'm looking for personally to play out on the U.S. dollar. You know, and it could happen. I don't think it'll happen this week, but you know, this number here, I think will get run, you know, maybe early next week, maybe next Tuesday creates the high, and then it sinks down, and then, you know, Wednesday, Thursday starts to plummet, and then Friday they spike it up one more time to clear all the liquidity and all the guys that are right in the market going short. clear out all their stops, and then, you know, again, drop the market. But you can see here, I just want to do just a real quick measurement here. If you'll bear with me for 1 second, I just kind of want to get an idea on the last so you can see this candle right here. This was the last down candle prior to the run up, and I'm just gauging time frames here. So let's say next Friday would be right about there. Okay, I'm going to bring this out. So we're 35 days from the last big movement here in shift in market direction. So we're definitely due for another shift to occur. So this is kind of what I'm thinking is another kind of reason why I think they're going to play this out, and this will be sort of the final hurrah before they start to drop it. Now, when they drop it, don't keep in mind, I'm not necessarily saying they're going to drop it and we're going to, you know, come down under these lows here and start sinking under here or anything like that. But by all means, a pullback from here and a correction. If you take a fib from low to high, and let's say they sweep these prices here, right, take it up into there, we come back down to that 72% retracement level, just beautifully right in these old highs right here. That would be the target on the downside for a correction, if that's what they want to do. Come up, sweep the highs, kind of stop right around here where I think they're going to at 95.20, sink it back down and gather up longs again. And who knows from there. I mean, we could continue to rally higher from there, but I'm definitely looking for a correction after this 95.04 level's been taken out. And here's the thing. So if you do a little bit of obviously, you know, and I know that the U.S. Fed has been increasing the interest rate. They put a hold on to it for now because of some weaker economic data that's come out as of late, and they put a hold on it, but they have guaranteed there's going to be at least 2 more interest rate hikes towards the end of the year. And when they raise interest rates, the price of the dollar goes higher as well too. Now they're trying to keep it competitive, obviously, but they're going to run this higher, and as you can see here above the market, there's lots more area up here where price could run and where there's liquidity sitting. So that's kind of what I could certainly be wrong, and they may want to sweep these lows here and come after these guys now, but I'm not going to bank on that until this level in here is taken out. Basically until this low gets taken out, really. I mean, they could run this thing all the way down to here, down to this small consolidation area. Very unlikely, but they could do it. If we lose this low in here, then in my opinion, I think we'll probably be clearing these lows down here. So we'll be watching for that. But anyway, that's long term. You know, that's literally probably a month out, maybe into July's trading, or even August trading. But from now until at least non-farm next week, I think this is probably something close that will pan out. So anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on the U.S. dollar. Going into the rest of the week, though, I believe we'll probably see a minor pullback here for Thursday, and then I'm hoping maybe even into New York Open on Thursday and into Friday. I want to see another rally and another strong push, and I want to see the candle. I'd like to see Thursday's candle or Friday's candle finished above this level here. Okay, not that it rejects and starts to take out these the bodies of these candles in here and come lower. I'd like to see this finish and close higher to go up. So that's what I'm looking at, and that's what I'm anticipating. So if we are looking at that, we're obviously looking at the opposite in foreign exchange. So let's have a quick peek at that. Now, the euro they ran. So the euro has been satisfied. You see these lows under here? Price has been satisfied here quite a bit, actually, and they actually closed lower than those lows here. The U.S. dollar hasn't done that yet. The U.S. dollar took the highs, but as you can see, the bodies have not closed higher than the bodies in here. So interesting that they ran the euro very, very quickly. Now, the one that hasn't done it, and this is why I wanted to look at the pound as a potential trade for tomorrow, because you see these equal lows over here. price failed to get down there, and I was hoping it would do it today. It pissed me off again, the pound. I got to exact my revenge on the pound here this week because I'll tell you, Tuesday it screwed me over, and it screwed me over on Wednesday too. Price literally came down to within 4 pips. What is the low in this candle? Look at this right here. See that? Take profit. 133.00. This candle's low came in at 133.04. 4.6 pips. Missed my take profit. I got short somewhere up in here after all that news got released at 4 o'clock. Again, I got short and price smashed down. I was up 70 pips only for it to come back, and I actually put my stop in at plus 10 pips, so it's not like I lost money or anything like that, and you know, the signal was valid and everything was fine. Hopefully some people got out here, but I was just looking for just the last little juice out of that lemon, and again, lesson learned. So long story short, though, they have not taken the stops under here. They came just shy, so this one candle right here is the lowest of the series of these guys. And again, the wick comes in, closes, the low is 133.02. Price came in here today at 133.04, so it missed it by 2 pips in my opinion. I think tomorrow is going to be the day they're going to smash this thing down, and they're going to clear these lows in here. So if they don't do it Thursday, they'll do it on Friday, but I guarantee it'll be done this week, and they're going to be one and done with this guy here. So a little bit of manipulation on the euro pound. They've been consolidating this thing today. Wednesday was a doji. They smashed the price up here to run the pound down, and then they pushed it back down lower here and took out, you know, got euro short. And so long story short, lots of manipulation on there. But I think, again, going into tomorrow, this is sort of where I'm looking. And where I'd like to get a short, if they would run price up to the 133.90, so basically this old low in here, or even the low of this candle right here, which comes in at 134.11, 134.12. I'm just going to go down to an hourly. That's kind of right in this level here. Price is just crouching right below it right now at 133.65, so about 25 pips higher. I'd like to see this thing run and potentially get a short in. Now, what would negate that if they run price higher than, let me just see here. If they want to come up and start running into this area up in here, I wouldn't be interested in this. I'd really like to see them kind of stop and have sort of the very last little push higher right into here. If they start getting back up into this area, I'd even go as far as to drop it even into here. If they started getting back into this area, then that is probably going to null that trade idea, and they're going to want to take it higher into Thursday, and then maybe Friday push it lower. But there is some news, right? I mean, there's again, the pound dollar has some fairly high impact news coming out, you know, Carney's speaking and everything else. So again, it could be susceptible to price fluctuation. So what I would really like to do is wait and catch any false move higher into a short. So let the news kind of do what I did on Wednesday. Let the news come out for 4 a.m. New York time. Watch what it does, and then trade fade the move basically in one direction or another. And that's kind of what I was looking at. More so if it goes higher. If the news starts to suck price higher and it starts to get up into this level in here, then I'd be looking to fade that price swing after the news closes, and then look for them to come down and finally sweep this 133.00, which, if let's say we got an entry somewhere in here, that'd be a nice 90, 100 pip swing, 100 pip trade on the day. So that's kind of what I'd be looking at. So we'll see if that wants to pan out or not. I've got my eye on that. Again, like I say, Euro USD. The only thing that would interest me is if price, and see, price is up in here, very, very well traded. In my opinion, there's really no areas that price needs to come back up until it's hit its low. There's a section in here that I believe price could definitely want to trade back up to, but we'd have to make a low. That'd be quite a price retracement for them to just come up here and then grab the positions and then head lower. But as far as where our current position is, you know, maybe a small price is fairly well balanced in my opinion. Small area up in here, but that's quite a ways away, so I don't think we're going to see that this week. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I'm kind of the opinion that they're sort of done working the euro, and they'll probably move it sideways, and then they'll start focusing their attention on the pound. And only because, really, look at this. Like they just finally started pulling the pound down, where you can see the euro that same time frame, right? They've really been pulling this down. And I think the pound dollar will eventually catch up, but it's just got a little, you know, had to let the euro work their magic, and then they'll do the pound. That's sort of what my thoughts were. So anyway, back to the pound quickly. We'll go back to the daily. Yeah, I mean, I'm not super excited. They're definitely really looking like this is support in here where they're coming in and just kind of banging price up in here, which kind of leads me to believe that they're probably going to want to run price higher into Thursday's trading. And yeah, you know, I'll be honest with you, there's some levels up in here that kind of interest me. That could be a draw on price. Could be a draw on, Jesus, price for the euro, if they're finished sucking this thing down anyway. Oh, that is a beaut color. Look at that. I don't know about you guys, but that is very hard on my eyes. Wow. Sorry. Bear with me for 30 seconds, guys. I've got to get something off. Let's try and dull this down a little bit. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Okay, yeah, there's definitely some areas up in here where I think they could draw price up into. So now that's just sort of back up into the 170, 80 level. Somewhere in around this area here, I believe could be a draw. And like I say, they're kind of banging price up in here and looking like this is going to be resistance. So what they could do is they could just run it up, and if they're going to run it up and sweep these highs here, just ultimately run it back down, I would say 117.50 would kind of be a level that I would be looking for them to come up to, reverse, and then go lower if that is their ultimate goal in the euro. But like I say, price was satisfied fairly nicely on Wednesday's trade, and came down, took down the lows as expected, and finished up, as I've been talking, right on the highs of these candles over here, and that's exactly where I was targeting. If you've been to any of my other live sessions before, I've talked to that level several times. And that's exactly what they hit. So I would expect a little bit of a retracement coming out of this thing. So, just for completeness sake, take a fib. Yeah, look where price, that 79% retracement level, just above these sort of relatively equal highs in here. It could sweep price back up to it. This 118 big figure level here, 11800, could be a target. Anyway, that's just sort of on retracement wise what we could be looking at for tomorrow. But anyway, so that's euro, that's pound, that's US dollar. Real briefly wanted to talk about crude. I was looking for a long entry in here, and it actually gave it to me. Well, price gave me the entry. Sorry, the price action went in the direction that I wanted it to. I called a long today at 72.40. Price came down. See this candle right here, all the way down. Bam, hit my limit order. Didn't execute because of the spread, and then price ran away on me. So unfortunately, I personally didn't get part of this. I do have some members though who did get it. And I had said, just keep your eye on this price now. Don't let it come down past 71.60, and you can see now price is just squeaked past that by a couple of ticks here. So I am going to suggest, if you haven't already taken your profit on this, do so. Maybe let this candle push up a bit higher here. Do so now. I think they are ultimately going to run this higher, but there's definitely... You can see on this, let me get rid of this here. Clean this chart up a little bit for you guys. There's some levels under here where they could want to come run. They ran it right here. This was Wednesday's trading. They ran price right here. That was on the crude inventory news that had come out. They ran it down here, cleaned the stops here. But you can see here there's a couple other stops, wicks down here that they did not come down below. So that could be the target, what they're reaching for. You can also see it, price is creating a nice bearish play down here, failing to go above that. And all they've done up this far is just, kept pushing stops higher and higher and higher as they failed to come down and take it. The only stop run they did was here and right here. So there's liquidity here, here, and here. So ultimately, crude oil, I'm bullish. I've said it many times, and I think they're going to push it higher, but I think they could come back. There's some weaker news coming out right now on supply, which is all bullshit, by the way, guys. Pardon my language, but if you follow crude at all, or if you sorry, I was just trying to get the exact definition. Or if you are an OOTT, hashtag OOTT, which is Organization of Oil Trading Tweeters, basically. There's a big group of them on Twitter that I'm not necessarily part of, but I read some of their material. Everybody is I forgot where I was going with this now. Yeah, supply. A lot of news feeds are coming out saying that there's the market's getting flooded with a ton of supply, obviously coming out of the U.S. And however, my belief is it's turnaround time with a lot of refineries, and so I think the current supplies are going to be drained, not significantly, slightly, and I think it's going to put pressure on oil. So I think we're going to see higher prices before they go down. This is just going to be a short-term sweep. But like I said, I'm looking on oil, watching this one. I like how they came back down, grabbed longs here and rejected, and I think this is just going to be a temporary swing down. So I'm going to keep watching for this, but again, don't get too overzealous on crude, because this thing can punish you in a big hurry. So don't just go long here and expect it to fly up and hold out. So, it's if you've got a position off right now, maybe close it or keep an eye on it. Don't let it go any lower than what it is, because it is starting to get into a bit of a bear trend, and that's when price can just start kind of, the dominoes start falling, and price runs away very quickly to the downside. You don't want to be part of that. But I would look for them, if they do come down lower than here, to sweep these lows in here and potentially rebalance. Let me just look at this. A good area, I think, in my opinion, that they could come back down and rebalance. Yeah, I mean, these lows here, that's pretty low. This is where Trump was talking there, and he fluctuated the market, and they came down here. So definitely not, this area is done here. They came back, refilled in some positions in here. So they came down another time right here. I believe price is fairly balanced, to be honest with you. I think it's just these short-term lows in here that they could want to come back down and sweep. And so basically, if I had to guess, I'd say kind of right down in this area here somewhere. Maybe right this low right here, come down, create an equal low, or just sweep by a pip and then reject and go higher, if it comes down anymore. So that's kind of my thoughts on crude oil. But I am going to be watching it to close off the week, because I think we could come up and we could take out this 72 level and potentially even push up to 73. I've got a target on the weekly, and for some reason it's not on this chart. I don't know why. Anyway, I can remedy that in a very big hurry. I'm looking for price to come up to 80. Or sorry, 80. 80 is way up here. Ultimately, I want price to come up to 80. But I think these lows in here would offer a bit of a resistance, and that comes in, as I say, at 73. So maybe 74, if it'll give it to us, kind of right up in this level here. So that's just, again, just these lows in here, sort of where I'm looking for price. Not too far away now. One nice little push higher would give it to us, and I think that would satisfy price. So that's sort of what I'm looking at. Nice little pullback opportunity to get long, and away we go. You can see how very well they've balanced price in here. These are all very well traded ranges, and they've come off of these highs here. Come on, give me that. All right. See what they've done here? They've come in, created these highs, came back down, expanded up, came back down to these old highs here, cleaned up price, consolidated in here, screamed it up, and then that one move right there cleaned up all that liquidity under here, and now they've just been steadily chopping this. So this is kind of a nice reprieve in price, a nice little pullback, and in my opinion, this is not the high. Just in case you were thinking that, well, this is the high, this thing's going to go back down to 60. I don't think so. And I'd be willing to put money on it that this is just a temporary high that they're going to come back and recapitalize again once they come down, maybe take out this low here. You know, really, if we're going to get specific about this here, like the low on this candle here and the low on this candle right here, and basically the low on so middle of this candle, low on this candle, low on this candle, the wick on this candle. I shouldn't say the low, I should say the close, or sorry, the close on this candle, the open on this candle, and the wick on this candle. There's a real confluence in that level, and that comes in at about 70, 90. You could even call it 70, 95. I'll just put that on the chart here. Right in about there. That's where they could be heading. So I'm just going to pull this up. And sorry, guys, I know some of you guys, you're not oil traders, and I love trading oil. I like the market personally. Look at that. If it did come down, I'd like to see them run lows by about 20 pips or so. If they did come down and run this low right here, they'd run this low. That would be an exact 20 pip run, and then I would expect this to happen at that low, and I'd be targeting here. So let's see if that happens. I'm going to be watching crude oil. I'm not getting into anything right now. Just going to watch it. I'm going to sit and wait. CME open tomorrow. We'll start to push price around. So we're going to see what they want to do on it. That's about it, guys. I appreciate your time. It's now 1:30 in the morning, New York time. This guy is going to call it a day. It's been a long... Sorry, real quick before I get into that. As you can tell, I love talking markets, and I could do this all day, all night, and I pretty much do. Bitcoin, though, is one that I had called as well, too, and I said Bitcoin was going to get, was going to be soft. If you are a Bitcoin trader, I would be looking for shorts. See these lows right in here? I'd be looking for price to come up into this area, and I'd be looking for shorts in and around here. And I would be looking to target, again, these lows down here at 65. And this is the exact lows that I got that level on, so I'm not going to change it, but basically 6,500 is where I'd be targeting. Just a nice sell-off, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, nice sell-off, a little bit of a pullback on Thursday, come up basically just to these old lows in here, and then another, I think another drop is going to ensue. So that's, if you guys are Bitcoin traders at all, I think that's what's going to happen. I don't see price getting above here. If it does get above here, maybe up to here. But any higher than that, I'd be very surprised. If they did, they just sunk it. And they filled this gap in and just kept on going. So in my mind, this was just a stop run. They came up above here and just ran stops and immediately sunk it. And I think that's where we're gonna keep running to. So. That's about it. And natural gas, I love trading commodities as well too. There's huge potential in commodities, so if you are not a commodity trader, you should seriously look at becoming one, because there's massive potentials in commodities. And I'll show you one right here on the sugar trade that I called. I think this is going higher. I'm actually looking for a pullback to get additional positions on in this market, but I'd like to see price come back down on the daily to one of these levels in here is what I'm watching. So basically these highs, or these highs, any one of those three levels, buy, and I'm looking to target up into here. So I think this is just the prelim move. It's just going to be sort of the expansion before the brief contraction, and I think we're going to start swinging for the fences on this. And I don't know, you know what, let me take it from here, the last swing low. I'm going to go down to a hourly. You see that 72% retracement level lines up right on that level that I had. So that's kind of interesting. I'd love it if they came all the way down there. And that comes in at 1170 basically. That would be great if they sunk this down tomorrow and Thursday. And so if you're not following the US dollar, if the US dollar is pushing higher, commodities should be pushing lower. And you can see obviously US dollar pushing higher. This, though, has been pushing higher in conjunction. So it kind of leads me to believe that the US dollar is now starting to run out of steam, and that they're starting to, all the commodity traders are starting to put their positions in, and they're starting to shift their focus. And I think we could see, you know, a brief retracement on the US dollar, brief enough for them to basically smash sugar up here is kind of what I'm looking at. So there's lots of theory to my thoughts. Whether or not they're right or wrong is, you know, going to be up to the markets to determine. So just keep in mind that all of my comments on here do not constitute as trade advice, and I am not telling you what to do one way or the other. I'm just kind of sharing with you what I'm thinking, where my thoughts are at, where I think the market's going to go, and it's going to be up to you to determine if you feel that those thoughts are valid or not. So that's what I'm watching anyway. A couple of trades potentially coming up for the week to close off. Sugar, Bitcoin. I called the orange juice move, by the way. I called it down here. I talked about that earlier. I'm not going to beat that horse to death. And somebody was talking about Aussie earlier today in the chat room. And I just... you guys probably have somewhere to be. If you gotta go, that's fine. You don't have to stick around for me. I'm just kind of babbling right now. I'm not going to be on. I'm going to be literally 2 more minutes here, and I'm going to wrap up. Somebody was talking about Aussie making a switch. If there's anybody in here from the membership group, and if you saw that earlier today, I think it was earlier today, someone was talking about Aussie. And I was looking at Aussie today. I don't know. I read it somewhere. I saw it somewhere. My days get so crazy. I process so much information on a daily basis that I have a hard time keeping straight as to where I'm getting the information from. But interesting trend on Aussie. This market should be going down. This move here, basically this move here from May 9th should not be taking place. There shouldn't be any retracement. As you can see, it took the old low back here from November, December 2017, and it's rejected. This is not quite in unison with what the US dollar is doing. If anything, Aussie should be, if it's following the US dollar closely, which it usually does, which you can see this has, it should be just crouching this low right here and hovering and waiting to smash down, or just, you know, taking, you know, maybe potentially this one and waiting for the last range here. You know, maybe they're planning on doing it here, but this is a pretty big pullback. You know, that's a 150 pip pullback, and on Aussie that's pretty big. So I'm kind of wondering here if maybe they're just not, maybe they're going to bring it back up. That's 79% retracement, 72% retracement level. Some pretty big areas of confluence up in those locations. I'm just going to bring this in here. But I just brought it up, and I was like, I wanted to make a mental note to have a quick peek at Aussie, because I wasn't too sure what the gentleman or lady was talking about. I don't remember who said it, but I just wanted to kind of see what they were talking about, and I can see now a bit of a divergence on Aussie compared to the US dollar. So, and this could be a prelude to what's to come as well. So just keep that in mind. If there is underlying strength in the Aussie dollar, So you can see here, I'm just going to kind of go out to maybe a weekly. You can see here they've come in, Aussie's been in a nice uptrending market. They had a brief breakdown for market structure here, and basically just swept the lows under here. You can see it's, let me just get rid of some of this if I can. There we go. So you can see the bodies have failed to close lower than this swing low here, but the wicks have come down and cleaned out the stops. So this is definitely strength in the Aussie, and what they could be foreshadowing is the potential drop in dollar that's about to come. So dollar could, like I say, do what I think it's going to do, come up, sweep up here, and Aussie could already be confirming that. U.S. dollar comes up, sweeps up here, and then drops. Aussie could already be confirming that price movement and getting a jump start on it and showing additional strength to the upside and just working that move a little bit sooner than what the U.S. dollar does. And that's how you find divergence between currency pairs or indexes or whatever markets correlate together. If all of a sudden, for some reason, you find one that does not correspond to what the others are doing, that's the divergence that you're looking for. That means they're manipulating that particular market. And that's how you know when a change is coming. But I just kind of thought that was interesting, that this move here was a fairly significant one, and especially when the U.S. dollar's just been making new highs now, and I think a new high is about to be made. So very interesting. I'd be looking, I don't know, I don't want to say anything yet. What I'd like to see price do is basically to, if this is the low in here, to come up to these lows in here, reject, come back down, and then show some support in this level. And then that's where I'd be looking at getting into a long, if this is a confirmed shift in market direction. If, which is a big if. So if this is the high, well, that didn't work the way I wanted it to. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. Sorry guys, I'm just playing with something here. That's interesting. Come on, yes. Sorry guys, I'm just doing a little bit of forecasting here, and because of proprietary agreements I cannot disclose it, but there we go. God damn, sometimes MT4 drives me crazy. I love the platform, but sometimes it just drives me nuts. Interesting. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at some time frames here, but anyway, just thought I'd bring up the Aussie for no real point in particular, but that's kind of what I was looking at, guys. Anyway, for the day happening tomorrow, so we'll see. I'd like to see this, like I say, push up and then eventually roll over. Euro, I'm not looking at a whole bunch. They'll probably just do a little more of this tomorrow. I think all the money and all the market action is going to be in the pound tomorrow. Into Thursday, and then I'll be looking at crude oil. I'll definitely let the members know if I see something worthwhile taking on crude. And you know what else I'm looking for. So with that, I will bid you a good day. Hope you have a great day trading tomorrow. Remember, Dave is in on Friday morning, and he'll be talking shop again with the S&P and gold and he'll probably just be doing an overall market review anyway, so you can look forward to that. Dave put out a nice trade again today on, I think it was the S&P, if I can remember right. I think, yeah, he got in on this move here, somewhere in on this move here. I could be wrong. I do know some of our members made a little bit of cash on that, and because of Dave's call, so kudos to him. And he does it pretty much just about all the time he comes in live, so he's been actually trading very well lately. So take advantage of it. Check it out Friday morning. And other than that, I'm done. I've got a very busy day tomorrow, and I will be back next week myself personally. And remember, guys, next week is non-farm, so all the bulk of the trading, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. After Wednesday, I'm pretty much going to be shutting it down and just studying the market myself. So I won't be doing anything, obviously, Thursday and Friday of next week. So you know, I'll just be, like I say, studying, analyzing. Probably do a couple of live sessions. Maybe if I'm around, I'll trade. Not trade, but I'll do a live session during non-farm on Friday. You know, we'll kind of see how things go there. So anyway, thank you very much for coming. I do appreciate that. If you haven't already, make sure you check us out here. This is my shameless advertising. F45trading.com. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on IG. And if you haven't already, just please hit the little box down here in the bottom corner of your screen and click subscribe to our YouTube channel. And again, thanks very much for your time. I hope you have a great day of trading tomorrow. Hit me up if you have any questions at all. If you're a member on the chat room, you know how to get a hold of me, or hit me up on Twitter and ask me anything you need to. I'm here to help, guys. Hopefully you got some value out of it. Have a great day. Talk to you then.